Equity takes into account each person's individual circumstances and gives them what they need to achieve an equal outcome, knowing that it might not look the same for each person.
Equity is the solution addressing imbalanced social system.
Equity means recognizing that we do not all start from the same place and must acknowledge and make adjustment to imbalance.
Equity is having access to resources and services and a healthy way of being and living so that one day in the future, hopefully, we can have equality.
Equity is the process and the work of making sure that everyone has an equal chance to succeed by recognizing differences in where people are coming from. It's that extra effort to recognize that some folks might be disadvantaged and to help them overcome those barriers and those disadvantages based on circumstances they had no control over, to help them achieve their full potential.
Fairness, justice, providing varying levels of support and assistance depending on specific needs or abilities to achieve a greater fairness of outcomes.
I would define equity as one size does not fit all. And so you can't take the same approach to everyone, and you have to view individuals as individuals and value that.
Equity for me is when I am given the means to succeed and reach my goal, not only a chance to work towards my goal.
Giving everyone what they need to be successful and offering levels of support depending upon needs to achieve or a greater fairness of outcomes. In other words, it's not giving everyone the exact same thing.
I would say equity is making sure that everybody is given the chance and the resources and the tools to be as successful as somebody else with the same resources, given that they all come from different circumstances and backgrounds.
Equity means to give the resource or appropriate resource with taking into account the needs of different individuals to succeed in their life. And that is not just a one time, we're taking into account in a process and in a sustainable way.
equity یا عدالت یا انصاف ما برش میگیم وضعیتی گفته میشه که شما بر اساس نیازمندی ها، بر اساس ضروریات و بر اساس ویژگی های خاصی که دارین باید از منابع و از امکانات مستفید شوید.
I would define equity as making sure that we are empowering people and giving everyone access to the same goods and services, meaning that we meet them where they are, understanding that life circumstances are different and that we need to adjust accordingly.
Equity is access to the tools that can enable us to get social justice. For example, if we are providing a training for different community members, for example, for refugee communities in America, and all the speakers are American. And we are indicating that we are trying to involve the newcomers or to try to provide them exact necessary skills for their new life, but they don't know the language at all. That is equality because we are engaging everyone to get the necessary skills. However, if we are providing interpreters for the newcomers, that will be equity because they will not only learn the new skills, but it will be easier for them to understand what does it mean.
Everything should be considered when it comes to giving the opportunities or when it comes to challenging the role as a human being in the society community.
Equity is the idea of leveling the playing field so that fairness happens along the path to success. So what that looks like in real life is taking into consideration natural differences between people like race and sex and social classes and religion and things of that nature.
Equity means fairness, means justice. If I say from the social political aspects, means giving the rights, means giving the justice regardless of race, gender, political opinions.
Gender equity is the process of being fair to women and men. To ensure fairness, strategies and measures must often available to compensate for women's historical and social disadvantages that prevent women and men from otherwise operating on a level playing field. Equity leads to equality.
Equity is about to making sure people get access to the same opportunity.
I would define equity as fairness and inclusion. And I think when we embrace that and embed it in our lives, in our cultures, in our communities, and in our workplaces, we are communicating human value and that everyone has the same human value.